What's the deal? What's the deal? My bad. I'm trying to get my little drink together. Um, yeah. So getting straight to it. Um, Today I want to get into the whole county jail thing. Today I want to get into the county jail thing, but I want to say this right now that for one, y'all gonna have to read between the lines because I'm not finna just lay everything out because I'm still trying to stay uh, politically correct when it comes to our politics. Um, I'm not gonna do too much, putting too much out there. But at the same time, I want y'all to have a clear understanding of what I'm getting at and what I'm talking about, and basically just get the point. So this not gonna be a whole bunch of talking about this happening, that happening. This is basically me going over the problem and then basically presenting the solution. And in order for me to go over the problem, I have to, get into shit just a little bit. So, with that being said, getting straight to it. With the whole county jail thing, right? Uh, First and foremost, when you first get to jail, when you first get to the station, you know, it's depending on what you got going on and what it's up already. It's up already. Cause it's niggas there, it's dudes there, it's dudes there that is from other places, basically the opposition. They there too. They done got into something that day just like you have. Sometimes you might not run into nobody, or the people you run into they ain't from nowhere you really tripping on, so it is what it is. Or you might know this person and they're op and it's like we already done been there, done that. What's the deal? So, um, getting into the issue, when you get to the station, like I said, it's already up. Um, Now, is it common? Like, is it an everyday thing that it gets cracking like it do in the county? Not really, but low key. So with that being said, yeah, when you get to the station, it's already up. But that's not the problem, right? And really just tapping into that real quick. This last time I came to jail, um, I fell in the station. I was at 77. Now, see, me personally, right? Just to throw out there, me personally, both times they put me in a cell. You feel me? They put me in the cell based on my case. Like when you got like certain cases, they like high profile, whatever the fuck, like certain like you got murder or attempted murder and shit like that. Then they put you in the cell. They put you in a different spot as they put everybody else because it's like I guess it's like some weird shit. I don't know, but long story short, they put you in the cells. Now across the way, across the hall, they got like the bullpen, the big cell where it's like 10 of y'all, 15 of y'all, whatever. It's a lot of people in there. On the real, it's potential to get cracking. You feel me? Especially if you somebody up in there from the other side, yeah, it's finna get cracking. So with that being said, boom, we gonna uh, get back to what I was saying. So this last time I was there with the homie Fomac. Uh, and Fomac, I didn't run into him till we was going, I believe, into the little room where you wait to get on the bus. So we get in there, we like, oh, what's up, bro? Ooh, this, and that. We saying we doing our thing, we chopping up, we joking, saying all the little shit, and we ain't, like niggas ain't censoring what they saying and nothing. We talk how we talk. In the process of doing that, we saying some crazy shit. We talking about crazy, but it's this dude that, if I'm not mistaken, he was from A Trey, but we don't know that at the time. He got his shit, all in his jacket and all that, so we really don't pay no attention to him. Long story short, I go out to get on the bus, get in line, whatever it may be, to go catch the bus. The homie, he right behind me. You feel me? I'm in the hallway though. I believe we was getting cuffed up and all that. And next thing you know, I hear some commotion. Supposedly, this dude then jumped up and tried to go for the steal on the homie. But, the police, they right there. So they immediately, hey, hold on, hold on, hold on. Prolong the homie whole situation. He missed the bus and all that. But, yeah, long story short, like I said, it's potential at the station for something to happen. So, but we're not talking about that really, but just, giving you a little, insight to how shit is. So, bam. Let's fast forward to all. Let's past all that. So when you get to the county, first and foremost, they throw y'all in this big old little room type thing, like this little box with glass everywhere, and long story short, they get to telling you nuts to butts, like basically pack it up. Pack it up, nuts to butt. Literally, that's what they telling you to do. Get up on this nigga, put your nuts on his butt, damn near. Now are we doing that? No, but that's what they trying to tell you to do, because they trying to pack it as much as possible. Then you go through the whole process of bend over and flashlights all in your anal cavity and all that type of stuff. But supposedly I hear they stopped all that now, so I don't know how true that is. But yeah, so boom, you're gonna go past that process. Then you go through the process of landing in cell after cell after cell, because you're going to go see this person, you're going to go see that person. And what I mean by that is you're going to go get mentally evaluated, physically evaluated. Then you go to this window, they ask you all these little weird ass questions. Do you got safety concerns and all this old shit, all that. Now, let's stop right there. I feel like at that point in time is when they should ask one of the most important questions. Where you from? And honestly, you got dudes that, they feel that they'll never tell the police where they from and all this other shit. Honestly, I don't know where that came from, but that you got dudes that never tell the police where they from. Far as in these types of, like on the streets, of course, even in prison, of course, I'm not finna, you just ask me where I'm from and all, like, even though we got tattoos, we got it written on our face, not me personally, I don't do the face thing, but I'm just saying, us as members, we be putting it all over our body, putting it everywhere, so if they really want to know, all you gotta do is know how to read. So, long story short, I think at that point in time, they should ask you where you from. So once they ask you where you from, they have the ability to house you according to where you from, what hood you align with. So that don't happen. They ask you everything about everything else, but they don't ask you that. So moving forward, boom, you go through the whole intake process, and finally, when you get to where you're going, or you're gonna get to where you're going, and when you get there, wherever that may be, now see, there's a chance that you gonna land, in a cool dorm, or you gonna land in the wrong dorm. What I mean by that is, now you got dorms where it's all homies, or a lot of homies, mostly homies. Then you got dorms where it's mostly enemies. So me personally, just to speak on my own situation, I've been in several different situations, but speaking on this one situation, on this last run I just had, I land in 2224 in MCJ. At the time, that was all enemies. All Hoovers, Blackstones, and Broadways, and everything that wasn't a homie was in there. And it was one homie on the tier that I was on, and that was nigga named Goham or some shit like that, from 6'0", tall nigga. He was down from the pen doing some shit at court. So with that being said, I land on a tier with all hoops. So boom, when I get to my cell, oh, but hold on, let's double back. So when I get to the module, the police, before I even walk through the front door, asked me like, "Hey, where you from?" I'm like, "Shit, I'm from neighborhood crib." And he like, "Oh, all right." He like, "Yeah, neighborhood." He like, "Crib." He like, "Oh yeah." He like, "You should be good right here. You should be good right here, crib, right here, neighborhood. Oh yeah, you should be good right here." Not putting no extras on it, not none of that. This is actually what took place. So when he say that, I'm like, I should be good right here. I'm like, yeah. I tell him, I'm like, man, I'm not tripping. You feel me? It is what it is. I'm saying I'm up in here though. So long story short, hit the tier. First person I see is my boy that I was in the pen with my last term, uh, from Hoover. You feel me? So I'm like, all right. I'm like, what up? He like, ah. I'm like, I already know. I said, if you right here, I already know. He like, don't even trip. It's good. So long story short, I'm not tripping. I don't care. So boom, I get to the cell that I'm going to. I think I was on Baker Row. I was like Baker 5 or something like that. So I get to the cell. First dude hop up right here off the first rack right here by the gate. Is by the bars is just dude and I'm like, what up? He like, where you from? I'm like, from neighborhood crib. He like, oh yeah. He like, yeah, Blackstones. He like, I'm older though, bro. I ain't, well. I'm like, yeah, I ain't tripping. I'm like, I'm in here though. So boom, I get in. Bam. So as soon as I step in, the dude that was on the top rack, he was up under the cover. He peeled the cover back, lean up, look at me. He like, where you say you was from? I'm like, I'm from neighborhood crib, bro. Ooh, this and that. He like, oh. He like, yeah, I'm from West Side Hoover. Ooh, this and that. 5 deuce. So I'm like, yeah, you already know what time it is. We gonna do what we do. So, long story short, bypass all that. Keep in mind, police right there at the door the whole time, right? So, like, he damn near wanted to just watch what all happened, or I don't know. But long story short, after he didn't seen his little show, he like, hey, close, wooty woo, woo, this and that. So, boom, it's 2 more bunks behind the first, like not 2 more bunks, but basically it's 2 bunk beds. You feel me? And the other bunk bed is behind it. It gets like somebody tinted up. So I immediately opened up the tent, like, who up in here? And they like, oh, that's a white boy. Don't worry about him. He's straight. We'll do this and that. I'm like, yeah, all right. You feel me? I just need to see though. So they tell him like, hey, show yourself, fool. So he, stick his head out. Ooh, just now. All right, cool. So then boom, the bathroom part, they had the little sheets around the bathroom part, so I couldn't see up in there. So I check up in there, just on my little tips. I'll check up in there. All right, cool. So back to the police, right? When they get the door closed, he go, boom, get the door closed, this and that. He look at the dude from Hoover on the top bunk and go and smile and go, what did he say? He said something along the lines of like, y'all be good in here, or some shit like that, like y'all be good in here or something. But he got like a little smile on his face. I'm like, fuck, like, weird ass nigga. All right, you feel me? So bypass all that. Boom. First thing I do, I go, hey, we finna do all that, but let me go use this bathroom real quick. They like, oh yeah, it's nothing. We gotta wait till they walk anyway. We'll do this and that. Yeah, all right. Go in there. Immediately, I got what I got, so I'll get that prepared, get that ready, because it was broke down. I'm just getting out the hole. So boom, I put him together. Pop, pop, pop. Long story short, let's just say I didn't take the time. I'm a thinker, so I think before I do shit. Let's just say I didn't take the time out to think first. And this police playing this game, threw me up in this cell, whatever. It is what it is, or, whatever, right? Put me up in here. So if I didn't think first, I come right out from out that bathroom and I stab the shit out this dude from Hoover, all in his neck, And let's just say I stab, get up on both of them. The other one from Blackstone, though, he was basically on some I'm old, I don't want no problem type shit. You feel me? Like, I'm not on that, you know. Uh, and not even taking nothing from him because, we had our little situations because we landed in reception together too. And we got into some little shit, but long story short, uh, he good people, you feel me? But just think if I was to come out and get busy on either both of them or and hurt them, kill them, you feel me? Like, because they not expecting this to happen, you know. So let's think about it that way. But let's also think about if I was to do my thing, we'll get all that out the way in the cell, and then say, you know what, this police thought it was a game. Bounce out the cell and get busy on the police. The same police that just played with me and put my life in danger. So yeah, all right, you playing with my life, I'm gonna play with yours. Because you got dudes that feel that way. You got dudes that's gonna take that route. You feel me? But then when it's all said and done, when that happens, then it's like, oh, he lost his mind, and nobody knows the fact that this police just played the game that he played from the gate by, placing me in this cell and thinking it's funny and all that old shit. That was the cause. For every action, there's a reaction. You feel me? So that was my reaction to his action. So going past all that, yeah, thought about it, said, you know what, this easy work just based off, I ain't gonna need this, but just in case, you feel me, they try to get on that type of thing with me, I'll be prepared, you feel me. We did what we did, and it was over, and, long story short, next morning, all the rest of them, it was that, you feel me. It's time to kick back now, you feel me. But this is the thing. Pay attention. This is the thing. This is all unnecessary. You feel me? This is all unnecessary and can be avoided. Because at the end of the day, I had a tier full of homies right across the hall. Eventually, I did go over there. Eventually I did end up with them. You feel me? After I took care of my business. But right across the hall was a tier 21, 23. A whole tier full of my homies, front to back. A whole tier full of my homies, front to back, right? My thing is this. It was somebody there that could have been swapped out with me, put me on that tier. Everything is great. It's not that hard. Did they do that? No. Do they do that? You gotta put in, you gotta take your own route. But long story short, getting back to the point, right? What they like to do is place people anywhere in the county jail. And with that, I feel like they have the knowledge, right? They have the knowledge. They know what's going on. Excuse me. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. They know what they're dealing with. They know what they got on their hands. They know, who's who and what's what and what don't get along with. They know this. They got enough housing to basically allocate all the inmates according to their personal fraction, to their own fraction of, so at the end of the day, why is that? Why are we not doing that? Why are y'all continuously, decade after decade, not year after year, but decade after decade, basically setting a foundation, facilitating this, facilitating this situation to where you are allowing all this crazy shit to take place? Because this is like, fighting is just the beginning of it. This dude's getting sliced. This dude's getting stabbed. This dude's that's getting violated. This dude's I mean, you just name it. And when I mean violated, I don't mean raped. You feel me? I mean like, everybody done heard the story about the peanut butter in the butt and some carrots in the butt, and some people didn't get stripped naked and spanked with shower shoes, and some dudes then got they little cheeks carved up with certain things, and all type of little stuff. You feel me? Like a lot of things take place, right? And my thing is this: it don't have to. Don't get me wrong, you got a lot of dudes, right, that feel like, oh, that's a part of the game, and what you signed up for, and woo, this, and that. True enough. True enough, I don't argue with that. You feel me? Everybody got their own perception. Everybody got their own way of feeling about, whatever. But what I'm saying is this: jail, right? When I'm placed in the custody of those whose whole job is to protect and serve and all that old stuff, right? This should be the safest that I am. This should be the safest, conditions for me, because this is ran by people that uphold the law, right? So at the end of the day, I feel as though if you have the capabilities, you have the means, right, to have a whole module full of neighborhoods, whole module full of Hoovers, and whole module full of Bloods, because they all get along. Really don't have to worry about individually putting them nowhere. And the ones that don't get along, at the end of the day, they got enough to where they can, allocate that accordingly. So going back to the point, they have the capabilities, and they have the they have enough housing in order to do this. But do they? No. Why? Why? Because all it takes is for you to do your research, basically to ask the right questions from the gate, along with all these other questions that you asking that really aren't as important as this one. Where are you from? So I know where to put you. You feel me? Where are you from? So I know where to put you. Okay, you from there? All right, cool. We're going to put you with your homies. You feel me? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. They got floor after floor. They got module after module. County jail, this MCJ. You got I don't know, I never heard about the 1,000 floor, but you got a 2,000 floor, 3,000 floor, 4,000, 5,000. Really don't know too much about the 6,000 floor, but I think they got a 6,000 floor and a 7. I never heard about them though. I know they got a 9,000 floor. I think that's where like the gay motherfuckers was at, the gays and the high powers. I think they was on a 9,000 floor. Don't get me to lying, because I'm not for sure, but they got floor after floor in that motherfucker though. They got module after module after module. Not just that, they got the Twin Towers, where they got floor after floor in there, and pod after pod in there. The Twin Towers. Then past the Twin Towers, they got Wayside. You feel me? That's over by like Magic Mountain and all that. You got Wayside. They call it Pitches, I think. Pitches Detention Center. Okay, boom. You got north, south, and all that. East, where they used to have East Max and whatever, whatnot, but they turned that into like some other shit. But you got that facility, and then you got Supermax, right? Supermax. You got, dorm after dorm after dorm, and all that, to module after module. You got plenty of places to put people. And the Mexicans, you don't really have to, do this with either, because, like I say, the Mexicans, they all get along once they come to jail. They all get along once they come to jail. So you don't have to worry about them. But you got places to put everybody else. You got places to put these Crips, these Hoovers, these neighborhoods, these Hoovers, these Long Beach Crips, these Compton Crips, these everything. You got places, but this is the thing, right? They don't do it. Why not? Why do y'all know what's going on but y'all don't prevent it. I don't understand that. It's been too long. Okay, back in the day, cool. Which back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, all the clips was in one module, all the bloods was in another module. Y'all did it then. What's going on now? What's going on now? You feel me? So, like I said, with that being said, um, you know, at the end of the day, uh, I'm just basically putting this all out there in order to bring awareness, to make the corrections, so that people that come along and go through their process, they can go through their process without having to worry about all the other bullshit. Because there are people that, just keeping it real, there are people that take time because they tired of going through what they going through in these modules, and and whatever. You got people that they tired of going to court, and every time they go to court they fighting and shit, and it's something, and it's like, fuck, this shit is get and I feel like this is a tool that they use in order to wear us down. Like, oh, he gonna get tired of that shit and he gonna take whatever we give him, or whatever it may be. you know um I feel like we should have a chance to be able to when we come to jail, we come to jail in order to take care of our business. You feel me? Do whatever time we gotta do for whatever we did. Or if we fighting cases, we should be able to concentrate on our case and not have to worry about nothing else. I feel like, at the end of the day, there should be, we should put all our resources and all our energy into basically rehabilitating people when they come to jail, county jail and prison. When you come, yeah, they got the little school shit and all that, and the little, no, let's really implement some things. Let's really take some time out to put some work in to building people up, because that's when the recidivism goes down. That's when, people get out of jail, and instead of, creating more, because, you got dudes that come to jail, they get beat up, they don't know how to fight. When they get out, they like, I'm finna go kill something. So these same dudes that just was in jail just the other day, that got ran by his enemies, he got out, he's mad, he just got his ass whooped, got his teeth knocked out, whatever it may be, he finna go, what you think he finna go do? He finna go see them people. When y'all could have stopped that. When that couldn't have been the case, he could have came to jail, been around his homies, did his little time, worked out, built himself up, did some programs, learned something, got out, like, you know what? I did that. That was cool. I'm cool on that, though. I need to, now, because, them programs might spark something in him. Like, I was doing this little welding thing up in there. I was doing this little whoop-de-whoop thing up in there. Yeah, I'm finna go do that. I'm finna go look into that. Cooking. I was in there cooking. They was showing me how to, do culinary shit. I'm finna go culinary. Or I was on my way to getting my GED or my high school diploma while I was in there. Not high school, cause that's, but my GED. This now, I'm finna go finish that. I'm finna go to whoop and go finish that. Like, it's like y'all pay so much attention to everything else. They put on the news these dudes that's doing these snatch and grabs and these things where they go in there bashing everything and what you call it, robbing the whole store. They put on the TV when somebody gets shot. They put on the TV gang violence and all that. But you're not gonna put on TV how y'all facilitating and breeding all this crazy violence and corruption in these county jails, though. Y'all not putting that out there, because that's exactly what y'all doing. But y'all not putting that out there. So and that's just that's just where you house that. Let's not get to going to court. Let's not get to going to court, but guess what? We gonna get to that on my next video. But I just want to tell y'all, man, these videos, like I say, is to raise awareness. These videos is just to, hopefully be able to reach the right ear, that turn into the right voice being heard, to where the right changes are made, in the system that I had to go through, because my whole thing is this. I want to see change. I want to see people be able to have a fair shot when they come through this system. I didn't have a fair shot, and that was all the way across the board, from my representation to, being put in certain situations, and just all the way across the board. I didn't have a fair shot. I never had the opportunity to really focus on what I was supposed to be focused on, and I never had the upper hand or even a good hand in the situation. The odds was always against me. So basically my thing is this: the people that come through this system after me, I just want them to have the odds in their favor. I want them to have some representation that's really for them, that's really gonna put in the work and get them the best situation that they can. The people that come through this system and gotta go through these county jails and stuff, I want them to be protected and be in the proper conditions that they should be in, without having to worry about things that they shouldn't have to worry about, being in the custody of the very people that's supposed to protect and serve us. That's the job that they signed up to do. So that's what should be done. These people that own these jails and all that, I don't feel that it's all right for them just to have them and just to have cells for people to be in and not really pay attention to what's going on a day-to-day basis in these places. I think that people's safety should be a priority in these facilities. I do. I feel like people's safety should be a priority in these facilities. I think that they know the things that go on, but they just turn the other cheek, or they just, it's a blind eye to it. We don't see it, or we don't, and at the end of the day, I don't feel like that's right. I feel like at the end of the day, they should do something about that. Because like I say, it's people really getting hurt. It's people really being victimized. It's people really, and the thing is, we've normalized it. Those in our culture, we've normalized it. We used to it. We don't really think too much about it. We just like, it is what it is. And, some of us, we make a hobby out of it, or not a hobby, but we have fun with it, and we get used to it. It's like, it is what it is, and we own what we own. So what? Yeah. And I'm finna be the best at it, or I'm finna, yeah. But, why should we? Why should we have to? I should be able to come to jail and, land in the dorm with my homies and just know that at the end of the day, it's us. We on what we on. And, we going to work out. We going to eat. We going to chop it up. We going to have a ball. Far as, we going to talk shit and laugh and do what we do. But, far as being on point, we got these classes that we got to do every day. We got this, we got this self-help groups that we got to do every day. We got, whatever it is that we got to do, we're going to do that as well, and it's to build us up, but it's not, am I going to survive today? It's not, who I'm going to fight today, or, it shouldn't be that, it shouldn't be that, because at the end of the day, like I say, this is a place that's ran by people that's supposed to protect and serve us. This should be the safest place I can be, but, like I say, we gonna finish this conversation, part 2 of this right here. I just wanted to scratch the surface, and yeah, I want y'all to like, share, subscribe. The most important thing is to share, because at the end of the day, when you share this, that's the opportunity for it to make it to the right ear, you know, and that right ear could turn into the right voice that'll be heard. You know, I can't say it enough. You know, that's what my whole point of this is. Uh, you know, if the changes is made tomorrow, the videos would be, you know, I'll stop making these videos tomorrow because there's no point in making no videos after the change is made. You know, but until then, I'm pushing. You know, until then, I'm pushing. You know, because like I said, I'm doing this for those who really want better for themselves. I'm doing this for those who want to come up in this system after me, that they be able to basically focus on what they supposed to be focused on versus being focused on surviving. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's no reason I should be focused on surviving in a place that should be the safest place in the world for me. But y'all stay blessed. I appreciate y'all checking me out. Like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And God bless y'all. Y'all have a good one.